I'm Richard Boatman, and this is 3-Minute Manna. I want to talk to you just for a few moments about the power of listening to God. I recently reread some of the marvelous accounts of George Washington Carver, who became an agricultural scientist. He was born into slavery. At the age of 10, he says, he became a Christian. And as a follower of Christ, God began using his life in incredible ways. He was the first Black student and faculty member at Iowa State University. He would later go on to Tuskegee University, working with Booker T. Washington. But George Washington Carver's prayer life revolved around listening. He would go out at 4 a.m. into the woods, and there he would listen to Mr. Creator. At one point, he talks about a conversation where he asked Mr. Creator the secrets of the universe, to which God said something like, "Your mind is not big enough to grasp it." Well, what about the secret of humankind? Why are we here? Again, God said, "Your mind is not big enough." So finally, George Washington Carver said, "Well, what about the peanut?" And God said something like, "That I can show you." And he would go on to show George Washington Carver over 300 uses for the peanut. Carver says that he never discovered any of these things. God just pulled back the curtain and revealed them to him. That's the power of listening. If you knew that in your yard was hidden millions and millions of dollars, but it was covered over with the grass, what would you do? Well, I'm guessing you would find a way to dig up your entire yard until you found that treasure. Well, you and I have a treasure within us through Jesus, the indwelling Christ, the inner glory of God. But we have to learn to listen to that. Let's face it, we are in a noise-filled society where distractions and superficiality oftentimes abound. We have to be deliberate and intentional about learning to listen. But if we will, we tap into this incredible source where we learn to live from the inside out. Instead of living with this crazy busy schedule that we may talk about and outwardly just pulled in 100 different directions, we learn to live centered, listening to, as Carver would call him, Mr. Creator, and finding out what our assignments are and putting our energies into those things and letting some of the other things pass us by so that we can focus on the assignment for today. What does Mr. Creator want us to do? And we learn through listening to God to live from the inside out.